All right, welcome back again, everybody, for what should be the last of my pre-war government models. This here is a model that was made in around 1937. It's pretty much identical to the other two that I've posted videos on just a little bit later in the manufacture before the Second World War. The condition on this one is in some ways better and in some ways worse than the other two. Looking at this just the way it is right now, it looks like a beautiful example. You know, it's got original bluing, very few imperfections. It does have some chipping on the grip. The original grips are 28 lines between the screw holes. It is thin on the front strap and on the back, on the mainspring housing, and a little thin on the bottom. This one here has an original magazine, what I call the squashed Colt magazine. But that is original for this air gun. Like I said, it's a beautiful, you can really tell on this gun how nicely finished Colts were pre-World War II. I mean, just a high polished. There's a little imperfection there. I mean, shouldn't say imperfection in the finish. It's, you know, time. It wasn't like that when it was new, but gives you a good representation of what an original finished Colt should look like. It's got a silvery blue, thin looking finish that they had when they were brand new. They were just beautiful guns. But if they were used, they wore fairly quickly and they thinned out fairly quickly. Now, like I said, this gun, on the way I'm showing it right now, looks like a very nice gun. Flip it over, and you start seeing why I have it, which is why I could afford it. Somebody laid it down in something at one point, or something got on it that hurt the finish. And it looks like the way it would be laying on a flat surface, you know, kind of elevated in the back by the safety, that it was laying in something, maybe a liquid, or maybe just laying on an old rag in a drawer that had something on it. You can feel a little bit of the pitting as you run your finger over it. Those dark spots are rough areas, but they're not bad. And the gun is, I mean, overall, it's a nice gun. It's a shame that that's on there, but if it wasn't, I wouldn't have been able to afford it. Like I said, the gun has got some very nice finish on it, but it has been handled. I mean, thinning on the front strap. When I bought this gun probably about 10, 12 years ago, when I took it apart, I was amazed how clean it was. I don't think the gun had been fired that much. I think it's just been handled over the years. Really nice gun. Pretty much identical to the other two I have. The only thing I would say is it seems like the grips might have fattened up later in production. This gun does feel a little wider, and like the grips are a little bit fatter than the other two examples I have, but I'm fairly confident that these are the original grips to this gun. Like the other two, original parts, checkered trigger, mag release, slide release, safety, arched mainspring housing, wide spur hammer. All the parts are original in there. Like I said, it's a government model, so it was made for civilian sales. Marked government model on the frame with a serial number corresponding, from what I can remember, I haven't looked it up in a while, but it's around 1937-ish manufacture. Can't really see the hardening on the front of the slide on this one as much as you can. The other one, just because it's got more finish on it, I think as they thin out, you'll start to see that line, that hardening line, start to show up a little bit. It's usually from about here forward where they dipped them to harden the frames. They're prone to crack right in this area. Original polished hood, barrel in it. We'll take it apart here in a minute. Just give you a quick look over the gun. This one here, I have shot maybe 2 or 3 mags through it, and that's it. I shoot the other two pre-wars more often. I don't know why this one I haven't shot it as much. Maybe because it's just it's a nicer looking gun, at least on this side, and I just want to retain it for what it is. But anyway, yeah, we'll go ahead and take this one apart until it's unloaded. Remove the two-tone magazine. Get a good look at the Colt 45 auto on the bottom. Two-tone. Like the other one, there is a quicker way to break these down without doing this. I'm going to go ahead and do it on this one, but you got to make sure you're holding the gun good and secure around where this comes apart. So I'm going to take this back and I'm going to hold it to there. I'm going to pop that out with my finger from the other side, and I'm holding this. And I'm going to take and hold this. I'm going to pull it apart and make sure I hold the spring from springing out all over the place as I take it apart. And that's the quick way to take one of these apart. Probably not the proper way, but occasionally I do that when I'm in a hurry. If this was an all perfect 98% version of this gun, I would not be doing that at all. That's just a quickie way, and like I said, the experts would probably chime in and say I'm really screwing up by doing that. I don't do that most of the time. But anyway, that's a good look at the slide. Barrel, take the bushing out. Let that over. Good look at the barrel. This barrel is marked Colt 45 Auto, which is proper for the late 30s manufacture. Proper and correct. You can tell by the wear on the hood. The gun has not been fired that much at all. This one also is matching. If you pull the slide stop off or the firing pin stop off, it's matching numbers to the frame. So not going to do that today. Anyway, slapping it back together. Just like every other 1911. Get her all lined up. This one does not have an idiot mark, which is nice, so I got to try to keep it that way. And maybe I screwed something up here. There we go. Line that up like so. In there, and got the tab, put on the spring, barrel bushing in, turn it as far as it'll go clockwise, and then snap that around. But anyway, yeah, nice old gun. Probably hasn't been used that much over the years, given its finish, and hope you enjoyed the video.